When you start something new, you never know how long it's going to be in your life. And when I spoke at the first Ignite event, I had no idea it would be something that I was going to be involved with for 20 years. And so now that it's been 20 years, I figure I should tell my Ignite story as an Ignite talk. So that's what you're going to get here. And when Brady Forrest asked me to speak at the first Ignite event in 2006, I had just quit my tech job and I wanted to become a writer. And I enjoyed writing, I thought I was good at it. But I discovered that to be a writer, you have to figure out how to get attention for your work. And half the job is marketing, which is disappointing to most creative people. So I was doing a lot of speaking. And when Brady asked me to speak, of course, I said yes. He told me there's a wrinkle, though. The format is 5 minutes and your slides auto advance. And I thought, okay, that sounds kind of crazy, but let's give it a try. And the spirit of the event was that it was a maker event. It was about people who wanted to make their own technologies and hear about other people making stuff. And it had this lovely spirit of creativity. I didn't know it at the time, but this format of 5 minutes had already sort of been done by an event called Pachakacha. They did 20 seconds per slide. Brady Forrest and Bray Pettis said, that's not fast enough. We'll do 15 seconds. So they were going to make it even faster. They wanted talks to be interesting. And part of the energy of that event, I think, was spectacle. People were kind of expecting these talks not to go well. And they were not disappointed. Most of these talks were bad. My talk, and I was a good speaker, was bad. It was confusing. It was overwhelming. There wasn't really a stage. Everyone was kind of crowded in. It was a very difficult environment. But it was fun for the audience. And part of the spirit of the event was this maker idea that if you showed up early, you got to build something. So at the first Ignite, they built bridges out of popsicle sticks. And if you showed up early, you got to go on stage and meet other people and build stuff together and participate. And that would become an enduring element of Ignite, this idea of participation. Now, as a speaker, I felt like I wanted to come back and do a better job. So I worked really hard and I came back and I did another talk about our short attention spans in 2007. Did another talk about how to drive in Seattle. I'm a New Yorker, so I feel like Seattle can learn how to drive. And I slowly realized that a lot of the other speakers were still struggling. It's a hard format. You underestimate how difficult it is not to have control over your material. And the pace is so fast. So I thought I should do a talk to try to help other speakers. And I asked the organizers, can I do a meta talk, like a talk in Ignite about how to do Ignite well, how to tell stories? Like, yeah, it's a great idea. And I did it. And it's been one of the most popular talks I've ever done. There's hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube and other platforms. There's a lot of interest in storytelling and learning how to get better. The event continued to grow, as you can see in this photo, but they kept this spirit that if you showed up, these are people who also chose to go to the same event as you. So you share something. Why not make that an activity? Why not, as the event organizers, build this in, design the event to afford this, because it is part of why people are showing up. They want connection. They want to feel like they're not alone. And so the event has continued to invest in this, which I have loved, trying to figure out how do you design and craft an event so every second that people are there feels thoughtful and considered and integrated into making your experience as a customer, as a participant, as high quality as possible. I eventually wrote a book about public speaking because I was doing so much of it and I had made so many mistakes. And when I wrote this book, I realized, oh, I'm now a speaker coach. Maybe I should help Ignite Seattle volunteer to be on the team and be the speaker coach, which I did. And I learned that it was so much fun, that the speakers show up so diligent about wanting to do a good job, but overwhelmed by the format. And I learned that little by little, this created an opportunity to make the speakers feel like stars. I spoke so much and was not treated. You don't get treated that great, even if you're paid to speak. You're kind of just a cog in the wheel, cog in the machinery. So we worked as a team to make the speakers feel like they're part of kind of like a stage show. Like you're working on the same show together. And the speakers are working together and the organizers too to deliver a show. And then eventually they let me be the MC, which I think I always had a fantasy about wanting to be like a game show host. And also as a speaker, I wanted to do all the things I wish hosts had done for me, like warming up the audience and reminding them they should be grateful that they're sitting in the audience and they don't have to get up on stage. Like reminding them that they're watching someone be very vulnerable just by getting on stage. And I also wanted to try to figure out how can the audience get involved. I had them let them vote to decide what the next talk should be, the next event. I wanted to find new ways to experiment with the whole way the MC and the speakers and the audience all work together, because we're all choosing to be in the same space. Can't we make it more interesting? So over all these years, I've worked with so many different organizers. They all have the same spirit and desire to make a great event and to build community through storytelling. Community through storytelling. And the fun and energy and diligence you feel at the event is a reflection of the people involved. All volunteers, always been all volunteers. And so I felt grateful for all this different roles I've gotten to play. And every time I go to the event and I experience what it's like for the speakers, because if you sit in the audience, it's easy to be jaded and to think that this is all easy to do because you see it every day. But it's not. And when someone works hard, you should let them know that you appreciate it. You hope every speaker and every person who gets on the stage gets treated like that for taking those kinds of risks. So I want to leave it to you. If you've been involved with an event like Ignite, what's your story? You should use storytelling to tell that story and make a video, share it somewhere. The 5-minute format is so much fun. I'll use it forever. And I'm no longer involved as an organizer, but I'll continue to show up and enjoy what gets made and what people are willing to share up on stage.